Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me on 10 Minute Tuesday. This is Sekou Tyler, and this is episode 10. Episode 10, man, this is a big one. I had to bring in, I call him my big bro, whether he wants me to call him that or not. That's my guy, Patrick LeBlanc. I personally wouldn't be here without Patrick. So, man, thank you so much for hopping on, Patrick.
Oh, it's an honor, man. It's an honor. I mean, when you first texted me, I was like, I get to be on the show. I get to be on the show with Sekou. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. Put me
awesome,
in.
Man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. So 10 of these, we know what it is, 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So Patrick, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Patrick LeBlanc. I work for Microsoft. I've been at Microsoft a long time. I'm a program manager on the Power BI team, and I also have a little YouTube channel. Got to give a shameless plug to my YouTube channel, Guy in the Cube. There you go.
Awesome. The tiny channel, right? You know, like cool. Awesome. So, you know, we know Guy in the Cube, especially people who've been in the Power BI world, they know Guy in the Cube. But at some point, you had to get a start. So, what really compelled you to even get into data to begin with?
So it was an accident, and I wish I had more time to tell you the whole story, but I was working as a mortgage underwriter. Crazy. I got a bachelor's degree in economics. I got a master's degree in IT. But before all that, I had my bachelor's degree. I was working in economics. My mother-in-law gave me a little bitty Toshiba satellite. The little screen on it was that big. And I was trying to figure out a way to make my job, be a little more efficient at my job. So I was taking all these notes. Instead, there's a product that a lot of us probably don't even use anymore called Microsoft Access. I built a database and a whole solution in Access. So when I would show up at the branches that I was visiting, I start typing it, and then I wrote a little VBA, and it would generate these emails and attach a Word document. So instead of it taking all week for me to do my job, it would literally take, when I got back from a trip, it would take me like 15 minutes. And so From there, I decided I'm going to go to graduate school. And so I started dabbling in SQL Server, and I started doing data warehousing, and the rest is history, man. Here I am.
Wow. And it all started with Access?
Started with Microsoft Access. It was an accident. It was just when she gave me this laptop, I'm looking at, Office and all these things on it, and I saw this little key with this, I forgot what color it was. I'm like, what is this? And I opened it up, and they had these wizards, and I started walking through the wizards, and then I went to this store. We lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at the time. It's called Books A Million, and they had the Access Bible or something like that. And so I just bought it, and I went through that whole thing, man. And I just started building this thing out. And before I left that company, I didn't think this all the way through, but the CEO came to my desk and he was like, "Hey, what is this thing? Are you sending these emails out?" I thought I was in trouble. I thought I was like, this is amazing. Can all the underwriters use this? Now, today's Patrick would have been like, "Yeah, but you need to pay me."
Yeah, exactly.
Blah, 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 blah. 20-something-year-old Patrick was like, "Yeah, I was so excited." I'm like, "We could put it on everybody's computer." They got a chapter in the book talk about upsizing it to SQL Server. He's like, "You know anything about SQL Server?" I'm like, "No, but I can learn. I can learn about SQL Server." And so we put it on everybody's computer. The IT department went to the IT department. They, thought I was crazy. I showed them how to upsize the SQL Server, and he was like, "You should work in IT." But they told me I didn't have any experience, so they ain't hired me. Right? They didn't hire me back then. But that's when I went to graduate school. I'm like, somebody gonna hire me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna change my career path. Went to graduate school, man.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll send you a long version when we're together one day.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so that's how you got into data. But even before that, or even while you've been in your journey, there have been some stuff you probably haven't liked. So what's been your least favorite job to date?
So from an IT perspective, my least favorite job was I guess it's been about a year ago. I was approached. I was at Microsoft, and they asked me to come, and I won't use names to protect the innocent. And they said, "Hey, Patrick, you should come do this at Microsoft." So I bounced, and I left the team that I was on. I'm back on this team, but I left that team, and I went and did that. And all these things, I was supposed to do all these great things. And then I got over there, and it wasn't so great. And I said, I got to leave this team. This is awful. And it wasn't, writing tech. It wasn't delivering presentations, the stuff that I like to do. It was a completely different path, but I thought it was going to take me, other places. And it really, really didn't. It was just the worst 6 months of my life. A bad, good decision.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One of those types of things. And so trying to get to the next level, but I didn't think it all the way through. I didn't ask the right questions and things like that. So it was a bad decision, a small excursion,
Yeah.
in my career path, and I diverged right back to where I think I belong. So
Gotcha.
it was bad, but it was good at the same time. But it was probably the worst point in my career.
Yeah. And sometimes you gotta have those things, right? That veer you off the path a little bit to get you realigned with what it is that you really like doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like to be in front of an audience. I like to speak. I like to solve problems. I like to help people, and that job was none of those things. None of those things. I like to say I take really complicated things and make them simple. That's what I like to say, right? And that job was not letting me do that at
Oh
all.
yeah, then so there's no way there's no passion or anything there.
No.
Cool, awesome. All right, so understanding it right, big journey. Started with Access, and now all the way got into Q, Microsoft. Principal program manager. But along the path, I'm sure there's been some failure, quotation marks. But what would you consider what's your biggest failure, and really what did you learn from that experience?
So I'm going to take this job that I was telling you about. This last job was my biggest failure because I should have, in retrospect, right, thinking back to that position instead of quitting, because I don't think there's only two things that I can ever think of in my life that I've quit. And I quit instead of just saying, you know what, I could do this. I can make this job what I want it to be. I quit. And that's probably one of the biggest failures in my life. I just quit. I was like, you know what? I can't do this, but you can do whatever you want to do. But I didn't want to do that. And so I quit. But if I would have took the time to really just focus in on it and really understand what the role was, I could have turned the role into anything I want, but I quit. One of my biggest failures, man. And I think about it right now. I think about it right now. Yeah.
It still weighs on you a little bit.
A little bit. I'm brushing it off. But it's still there a little bit. I'm brushing it off. But it's still there.
All right. Got you. All right. So understanding it right, we talked about the journey and everybody starting out, and then even, talking to, again, guy in the queue, Patrick LeBlanc, but you started somewhere and someone's going to look at this or someone's looking at your videos and like, I want to get to that point. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give someone who's just starting out?
So what I would tell people is you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish in life. Right. And so there's always going to be an obstacle. There's always going to be someone that's saying, oh, it's not that great. What you did is not that great. Say, oh, your little video you're doing right here, it's not that great. Right. Patrick, that little guy in the cube, your little job at Microsoft, that stuff's not that great, but you can't let those people discourage you, because there's so many people I can think of that say, when I was 16 years old, I was like, Patrick's not going to be anything. He's going to be just like every other little black kid, especially growing up in the hood. He's going to be just like every other black kid in the world. You can't let those people discourage you. And another thing that I think is critical to that part of it, you don't have to be a rapper or an entertainer to be successful. I mean, look at you, look at me, right? IT can take you up some places that you have no idea you can go. So if you're unsure, and if people are saying you're not going to be this, you're not going to be that, take a look at an IT career, man. It could take you to I would have never imagined in my life that I'd be standing here talking to you about a career in IT that I would have never imagined it. That's taken me around the world, pretty much. So can't let people discourage you. I know you said one thing, but I have to say, you can't let people discourage you, because there's going to be a million people that tell you suck, right? There's going to be a million people, and there's going to be that one person that's going to say you are great. You could do whatever you want to do. And I'm that person. I'm telling you, you could do whatever you want to do. And so you can't let people discourage you. And IT is an option. IT, computer science, computer engineering, information systems, it's all an option. And you will not believe the success you can achieve from, going down one of those career paths.
Oh, that's great sound advice. And I definitely still get a drive from the naysayers that said you couldn't do this, you can't do blank. I still hear like their voice in my head, to this day.
I can't think of the name. I've been trying to think of this name, the song Jay-Z has. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, when he said, you're on the list, beat it, kid, you're on the list. I can't think of the name of the song, but his uncle, wasn't paying attention to him. He's like, I'm going to show all y'all. I'm going to show all y'all, right? Jake said, I'm going to show all y'all, right? And so that's me. I'm going to show you. I got it written on my board right now. It says, when they speak of success, I'm what they might mean. I'm what
Mm,
they might mean. You
I
know who
love
said
it.
that? Jay said that. Jay said that, right? When
Yeah,
they speak of success, we're talking about me.
I
Right.
love it.
Anyway, let's keep moving.
No, no, that's great. That's great. And then I'm gonna make that the background music too when I put this short together. I'm gonna make that the song on here. All right. So tell me about the most influential people in your life and how they made an impact on you.
So normally I would group my parents together, right? Normally I would group my parents together, but I'm gonna make my dad is first, right? My dad is the first person. He passed away when I was like 14 years old, but up until that point in my life, it was like he and I, like he taught me everything. He was teaching me how to become a man. Then he passed away. Then it was just me and my mom. There's 7 brothers and sisters, but it was just me and my mom. And I remember when I graduated from high school, I tell my kids I took a gap year. I took a gap year, but back then we didn't have what was called a gap year. But I didn't go to school, and I was going down a path of destruction. I was going to be either locked up or dead before 1991 ended. And she was like, "You got to go. You cannot live with me." She told all my brothers and sisters, "You cannot. He can't stay with you. You got 2 choices, man. You got to go to the military. You got to go to school." Well, I ain't built for the military. I'm not. It's just not me. And so I decided to go to school, right? So my mom, my dad, my parents, my mom and my dad, that's 2. And then my wife, right? My wife is, she's an ever driving factor. Whenever I say, "Oh, I did this. I went to here and there were 5,000 people in the audience and I got to stand in ovation." She was like, "Just 5,000? Just 5,000? That's cute. That's cute." And I'm like, "Oh, I got to check. I did this consulting engagement and I got this." And she's like, "Oh, that's nice. But that's all you got? You should have got this." Right.
Yeah.
And it's not her. At first, I would take it as like insulting, but it wasn't, right? It was just, she was like, she said, "You got to take that and use it as fuel. This is some gas. I need you to take that now, go do this. Instead of 10,000, instead of 5,000, it should be 10,000. It should be 20,000 people." Right. So, and then I could list off a million other people, but those are the 3 people that pop in my head every time people ask me that question.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
With wives, man, they have a way of motivating you. And I don't know if they see a bigger picture better than we do or value more than we are. I don't know if like as we're, I don't know if it's man or ego or whatever, but when we're in the moment, we're like, "Yeah, man, I just crushed it." And they're just like, "Oh, you can do better." Or, there's more stuff, but it's like, okay, but it gets you to a bigger level.
Yeah, it does, man. It does. It does. And I have those 3 people. Without those 3 people in my life, I have no idea where I would be. I have no idea where I would be. Right? Maybe not even here on this earth. So
yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. That was great. So, Patrick, where can listeners find you at online?
So they can find me on Guy in the Cube. So if you go to YouTube, you go find Guy in the Cube. But I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter mostly. I don't do most of the other socials. It's just not because I have anything against them. I'm not that person. It's better to meet me in person, right? So, but if you find me on LinkedIn, find me. I accept most requests unless you're trying to, sell me some kind of training or something. I'll accept you. And then on Twitter, Patrick DBA. I'm Patrick DBA on Twitter.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to get this officially on wax, but thanks for all that you do, man, especially for me. Like I said, starting out, my first Sequel Saturday, I saw a Black guy speaking with passion, and I was like, whoa, I can do that. Came up to you, as cool as a fan, and then just built a relationship from that. But had you not even accepted me, and we've seen the people, right, who don't talk to, we've seen those, but thanks for doing that to a young Black man who was trying to figure it out and be a mentor and guidance for me. So I really appreciate it. And I definitely wouldn't be doing this without you. So thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Awesome. And thanks everybody for checking this out. If you haven't, please like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you all next week. Everybody have a great day.